Welcome, I am Dr. Ravi Jaiswal, Associate Professor at LBS Group of Institutions, Lucknow. Today we will be having the topic International Business Environment, which is the part of the paper Emerging Technologies in Global Business Environment. The paper code is KMBN 401. Before discussing the international business environment, let us have some points regarding the international business. International business is why it is required. See, every day there is new competition in the domestic market. Companies are coming up with new products every day, and day by day many more companies are coming in the market, and due to these circumstances, what happens in the domestic market, that competition level increases with the good products, and that competition level increases as well as the market is getting saturated. So, what is the alternative for this saturation or this competition? The alternative may be the going to the international business. So, international business is basically the cross border business. It means the trading of goods and services in a worldwide market across the nation's territory. It can be called as the globalization of the trade, means trade is now getting global, trade is happening at global level. In this international business, transactions of economic resources takes place that includes capital, skills and people, and that needs to eliminate the international barrier, cross border barriers, so that the international trade can be made easier. And international business is it is having the challenges which is somewhat different from the domestic market, as well as the marketing mix are different for the international business. In domestic business, marketing mix, say product, price, place, promotion, it was working differently, it was being used differently, whereas in if you are going to international business, then different challenges you have to face, as well as for meeting out or for coping up with the challenges, you have to design your marketing mix in different manner. Again, if we come to the business, international business, then we have to face the international business environment. It means the environment which is cross border. If you are working in say in your nation, in your country, then many challenges are diminished, but at the same time in international business the environment is somewhat different. It is basically the surroundings in which international companies carry on their businesses, and international business has many factors to affect. Therefore, it plays a critical role in the development and growth of a country. For the development and growth of a country, there are too many organizations who are working across the nation in too many countries, and they directly affect the development of their own country and host country both, and also they are responsible for growth of both the countries, whether it is home country or host country. International business environment may be affected by political risk, cultural differences, market risk, legal and taxation issues. There may be some other factors that may affect the international business environment. This international business environment have different factors, and all those factors, if they are being studied in the proper manner, they will help in making strategic decision, so that the business can be enlarged, can be developed internationally. The challenges, the risk, the cultural differences, market risk, legal taxation, political, everything in domestic business and international business behave differently, and for that reason international business environment must be studied. Now, we will be moving to the forms of international business environment. There may be different forms of IBE, international business environments. It may be in the form of the cross border trading. Which can be done with the help of import or export. There are two activities. Cross border trading can be done with the import of goods or services from some other countries, and at the same time export also can be done, and export is something you send from your country to some other country, means you try to sell your product and services to some other countries with the help of the people over there. So, cross border trading is the simplest form of international business environment, or we can say it is the form where two countries are actively engaged in the transaction of the goods. Now, franchising is giving the authority in some other country to someone else for having the full stake of the company. In franchising, people use the complete authority of the business, so as it can be run in the proper manner. In licensing, what can be done? Basically, if you want to, as a business owner, you want to sell your products after manufacturing at some other place, the other country, and if you want to give some authority to someone else, so as to produce the product in the factory, then at that time this licensing works. Then comes joint venture. Joint venture is we can say it is the somewhat form of international business in which two parties are joined together and they run a single entity of business. Both the parties may have different type of skills or different types of specialization, so that the entity can be run profitably. And the last one is the foreign direct investment, or FDI. FDI is the expensive, the most expensive form of the international business environment. In this foreign trade FDI, foreign direct investment, companies directly purchase the stakes at some other country, host country, where they invest money, they buy the land, the machines and so on, so as to run or to start the business. Then comes there may be different factors of international business environment. International business, as we have already discussed, international business environment is something different from the domestic business environment. Domestic business environment was easier to understand, to learn, because you are well known to your people where you are living. It is easier for you to get into the matter of your own countries. You may having better understanding of the consumers, so that what better product can be offered to them. But in international business, there the different factors may act differently, and you have to move with different kind of strategy in international business by getting the understanding of different factors. So, these factors or we can say the types of business environment, international business environment, it may be of political factors or political environment, economic factors, socio-cultural factors, technological factors and competitive factors. Means all these are the factors or all these are the different kinds of environments which accumulate together, which aggregate together to form international business environment. What does it mean? It directly mean if you are going to understand, you are going to learn international business environment, then for sure you have to know all these factors. You have to get better understanding of all these factors. Now, we will move to political factors, then economic, then and so on. That this is political factor, the very first factor, which is the crucial factor. Political factors are the factors which are directly associated with the government, means how the business, international business will be governed, what policies, what government policies will be there, what different kinds of different aspects, legal aspects will be there. All those factors will be called as the political factors. Political factors are basically associated with the types of government. Which type of government is there where you are try to transact, where you are going for international business. Type of government means there may be government may be the democratic, it may be the autocratic, it may be the leftist, means where the social cause or the prime cause. So, there may be different types of government that run the nation differently, and the policies also means made by the government may be different from the others. So, it directly affect the international business environment. At the same time, respective countries may have different political hazards, means somewhere the government may be stable government, it means there is single party government or there is the multiple party government, coalition government. If there is coalition government, then political hazards will be more on the upper side. At the same time, if there is single party government, there will be less political risk or hazards, and this will again directly influence the environmental factor for the business. What is the government approach towards the business? For business, government is it may think the integral part of the nation for the economy, or it may think the accessory part of the accessories of the economy. What is their orientation? If they are having the helpful nature for the businesses, then for sure the business will flourish over there. At the same time, what are the restrictions and limitations on obtaining the specific license? Because licensing is the part where which is the initial part where you cannot start with this in the international business. So, a specific licensing policy is what over in the country where you are going to run your business. What is the technical knowledge in the people of there? क्या जानते हैं वो, किस तरह की टेक्निकल नॉलेज से वे इक्विप्ड हैं. What is the availability of the raw material? Raw material is abundant in nature or scarce in nature. Capital goods, what is the nature of capital goods? Means restrictions and limitations of all these licensing, technical knowledge, raw material, means they are ready to give you license very easily, or there are the complex procedure of all these is there. There the political factors may be the constraint related to the export import of goods. It means many factors, there may be different export import are required for the industry, so that the goods or services can be prepared, can be made, so that a better offering can be made to the consumers, to the market. So, export and import of goods are means they have restrictions over there, or they have free policy. Now, what distribution can be there? What pricing can be there? Is there any policy related to the specific policy related to the distribution and pricing of goods, or they are ready to give you the freedom to distribute your goods or services as per your requirements, the pricing as per your requirement, or you are bound to them, and what constraints are there. Then the probable constraints for establishing a business, and what other constraints are there to establish a business. All these factors are governed by the government itself, and therefore, it is the primary factor, political factors are the primary factors to start a business in the international market. Now, economic factors. Economic factors are the factors which are associated with the economic aspect to enter the business sector. It means, what is the economy in the host country? If the economy of the host country is moving faster, then it will be beneficial for the home country to move to that country, so that the more benefits can be made. And if that is the stagnant economy, or it is the lagging economy, economy directly affect the perspective of doing a business, whether it should be run or it should not be run. What is the level of GDP? If it is growing GDP, then again it will directly help the company in international business. Or what is the per capita income? Per capita income, it defines basically the buying capacity of the consumers at home country, host country. So, GDP and per capita income, these are the factors, economic factors, which directly give you the indication that your business will be profitable over there, or because it just influence the purchasing power, buying power of their people. If they having the handsome money in their hand, then for definitely they will be going to buy your goods. What is the taxes structure? What is the taxes in terms of the direct tax and in terms of the indirect tax? Taxes का स्ट्रक्चर डायरेक्ट में किस तरह का है, किस तरह टैक्स ऐसे हैं जो आपको डायरेक्टली पे करने पड़ेंगे, एंड व्हाट आर द टैक्सेस दैट यू हैव टू पे इनडायरेक्टली. सो these are again the important factors. Again, available infrastructure. If the for the company, for your company, if you are moving to somewhere else in some other country, then for your purpose, what facilities the government is going to provide, what raw material and are there, availability are there, and what are the cost that you have to pay. If the cost is on higher side, then again you will be having your product with the quality, you have to ask for, you have to offer the product at high prices. So, cost directly affect the pricing of the good. Then sources of financial resources and their cost. What is the sources? means if at it is the requirement of any business to acquire some funds, finance from the outside parties, then what can be the financial institutions, what can be the financial resources from where you can collect the fund to start a business, to run the business in the longer run, and what is their cost, what interest you have to pay. Availability of workforce, like in India, in China, there are abundance workforce, and due to that quite good availability of workforce, the cost is going down, because it directly influences the salary structure. The salary structure is directly influenced by the workforce availability and their managerial and technical knowledge. If workers are having the good managerial skills, they have good technical skills, then at that time it will be beneficial for your company, your business to work in some other country, and just because of the availability of all these things. Salary and wages, again salary and wages are again important perspective, because the you can attract the good workforce just by offering the good salary and good wages. So, all these economic factors, they directly influence the international business environment. The next is socio-cultural factors. Socio-cultural factors are the factors that are directly associated with the social structure or the cultural perspective of the nation, where your international business going to flourish, going to start. The first, there are basically 4 elements: individualism, uncertainty avoidance, power distance, and masculinity. The first is the individualism. It is the basic socio-cultural factor. Individualism is the degree, it is the extent to which a nation encourages and value individual decision making and action. See, for any organization, for any company, it is required to have good people. If the people who are working for your company, for your organization, and you are working in the international environment, the people in host country, if they are having the individualism, then at that time they will be proved as a good leader. They can make good decisions. They many times may escape from many risks just by having the better decision at better time, at the right time. So, individualism is the requirement, it is the factor that directly affect your business, and it comes from the people where you are going to start your business. Then comes uncertainty avoidance. It is the degree, uncertainty avoidance is the degree to which a nation is willing to deal with and accept uncertainty. It means there may be different kinds of uncertainty in the business, and for a business it is very much required to avoid many types of uncertainty that persist in the nation. So, whether the nation is willing to deal or willing to accept the uncertainty of different kinds, if yes, it will be better for you to start a business. Power distance, it is another socio-cultural factor. Power distance is the degree to which a nation sanctions and accepts differences in power. It means how much you are close to the authorities. If you are in the country, in the host country where there is good power distance, then at that time it will be difficult for you to pursue the business, or there should be less power distance, so that the your differences, less differences can be there. Less difference means good decision making. Then comes the masculinity. Masculinity means in any country your organization may having the employees male and female both, and male and female both are working together in the country, in the organization. But there are many countries where females are males are dominating the females. Then at that time it will be difficult for you to hire the female power, the women power in your organization. So, you have to check what this cultural factor, how this cultural factor work. Is there high level of masculinity, or there is the liberal masculinity? They give the power to, the power to everyone, the decision maker are both whether it is male or it is female. At last, it is the technological factor. Technology is again the going to play important role. If you are going to have you are going to enter into the international business, level of technical development in the nation as a whole or in a particular business sector, this level directly influence the environment of international business. What is the pace at which the technology is going means obsolete, the sources from which technology is originated. Technology, if any country there is any country, new technology are coming very frequently, then you have to take up those technological changes very frequently. Are you ready with those things? Technology कहाँ से मिल रही है? The sources where it can be generated. Modes and constraint of technology transfer. What can be the modes or routes by which the technology can be transferred, or what are the constraints or restriction for transfer in the technology is there in a particular nation, and what is the rate at which technology is absorbed. Technology is getting the people are getting familiar with the technology, or they are keeping themselves away from the technology. If people are ready, then it will be directly affect positively to add on the good environment for the international business. So, all these were the technological factors. Next is the competitive factors. See students, competitive factors are not the individual factors. Basically, it is the factor which is made by the aggregate of the political factors, economic factors, cultural factors, environmental factors, and so on. Whatever factors are there. If there is good political factors, there is good economy, there are people are ready to different types of cultural factors, then they as a whole will increase or decrease your competition. The other companies will be attracted to those nations, or will not be, will keeping themselves away from those nations. So, all these factors accumulate together and they form a new factor which can be called as the competitive factors. And competition, these factors can be you came across with these factors from these sources, private or public sectors. It can come from large or small organization, both kind of organizations. It can come from the domestic and global organizations, or it can come from traditional or new competitors. Means all these kinds of sectors, organizations and competitors can be there, then may form the competitive factors, and it directly influence the environment at which the international business can be done. These are the references with which you can go through. Thank you. Very soon we will be coming with next slide.